I've been up and I've been down and I done seen it all. Was in the gym working my shot, now they pass me the ball. They never answer when I call, now I'm the one they call. I done been up and I've been down and I done seen it all. Crazy when you really gotta get it out the mud.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rocky Top Sports Talk. This is your boy, Coach Rice. Man, we got a fire show for y'all. I am looking forward to talking to Tom and hopefully some others come on the show. I know my boy Tom, me and him will be amped up because our boys, our Tennessee Vols, beat them Florida Gators down the swamp. It's been way too long. Never thought it was going to end, but Josh Heupel and company went down to Florida. That first half, that first quarter was pure dominance, and just Florida never had a chance. It was a game over before the game even started, and it's something you just love to see. As a Tennessee fan, you've been through the nightmares. It's pretty much the last. Well, I'd say we've beat Georgia, a couple times, not since 2016, I think, but there's been these years that you're just so many things that Tennessee's gone through, so many years of terrible nightmares and tragedy that it's you're knocking things out one at a time, saying we've gotten past this, beating Bama, beating Florida. Now we've beaten Florida 3 out of the last 5 years. We've beaten Bama 2 out of the last 4 years. Guys, just wrap that around your head, what Josh Heupel's done. He's got us to a college football playoff. He's got us to multiple 10-win seasons. And I know there's people, and my buddy Tom is one of them that's ready to move on from Josh Heupel. But at the same time, I think we're where we need to be. There's things that we have to make. Josh Heupel's got to make change at the end of this offseason to take that next step. But you can't deny the success that Josh Heupel has had in his 5 years here at Tennessee and what he's got Tennessee, the momentum and recruiting, beating these teams that for years we couldn't beat and beating them, consistently outside of Georgia. That's his one bugaboo. So hopefully, he's knocked down the Florida wall. He's knocked down the Bama wall. Hopefully, the Georgia wall is coming to a fall here soon as well. So, road win last night. That's another thing that you just kind of mark off the list that Josh Heupel and his team has struggled with. So, with that being said, before I bring Tom on here, y'all go give us a thumbs up. Go give us a thumbs up. If you like the content, like the channel, then share it out. Get the video out there where I'm amped up about this stream. We're gonna talk a good bit of positive. It's been a lot of negative for the last few weeks, just because it just seems like a lot has gone wrong. Even though we're 8-3 now, but it's just. I liked what I saw last night. A lot of Tennessee fans liked what they saw last night. There was a couple things that still I wish they would have done a little differently. But anytime you go down to Florida and beat the Florida Gators down the swamp and go beat a rival like they did, it's a plus. Hey, and then talked about giving us a thumbs up. Go on Twitter, follow Rocky Top Talks 1. That's where I post everything. Rocky Top Sports Talk on Facebook. That's where I post everything. So join both of those and you'll get a heads up or a notification whenever we go live. So try to hit that thumbs up when you come on. That way it helps the algorithm and we can get this channel out there. So with that being said, let me get my boy Tom on here and let's get this show going. What's up, boss?
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah.
Still feeling it from last night, man. It's always, you just nailed it on the intro, man. Anytime that the Vols go to Gainesville and come out with a W, it's been 23 years or 20.
How many times have we said that in our lifetime, bro?
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, when we were kids, we're about the same age. When we were kids, man, it was just one of those things, Tennessee might beat a really good Florida team in Knoxville almost every year, not quite, but we hardly ever won in Gainesville on a regular basis. That was not what we were known for. I mean, the early 90s, maybe, the end of the majors era. That just last night's game put me over the moon. I was happy, man. And I was ready to be happy about it. I was ready to be happy about it. I was looking for an excuse to be happy to be wearing orange, man.
Hey, I will say you had this eerie sense of positivity last week on the preview show. So I will give you a thumbs up on that, man. You're normally one that wants to not get hopes up, and for you to have a eerie sense of positivity going into that game, it even gave me even a little more bump of positivity. I thought we were going to win, and just with you having that positivity, it even cemented it. So, man, we got so much we could talk about, so many things that went great for the Tennessee Vols. It's just going to keep moving forward. You look at what we got this coming up week with Vanderbilt, another massive game. We'll have a preview show of that later on this week, this Thanksgiving week, since I'm off all week. And Tom, I know my boy's going to be ready to go live at some point. So we will do a preview show for the Vanderbilt game coming up. Biggest game of Vanderbilt's ever, Vanderbilt's ever football team. It'll be the biggest game for them. They'll want to come on the road and beat Tennessee, and we're going to make them little brother and keep them understanding that we still own them. So it'll be a Diego Pavia crisis where he's melting at the seam because he's freaking out that he sucks and Tennessee is just shutting them down. So
I hope so.
But hey, with that being said, man, Tom, what's your first thoughts from the game on Saturday? Obviously, there were several things that we did positive, but what were your first thoughts?
We won the daggone football game. I didn't care how we did it. Literally last night at Florida, we won the football game. Yes.
There's your boy. He's a Florida Gator fan.
Yeah.
So
and you know what? We were talking a little bit of jibber jabbering back and forth, before the game, but I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't. I was expecting we were going to win in a really close game that Florida got up for, or we were going to lose pretty badly. And I mean, I just had this I did not think we were going to win the way that we did. Now, there were a lot of things that we need to work on. The only 2 videos, I clipped 3 videos, but 2 of them we need to work on. One was just because it was a tremendous hell of a play. I love it. I want to see more of it. But our defense did not – I don't think Lagway looked like he wanted to get out of the pocket, but maybe 2 plays that he was actually looking to get out of the pocket on a pass play. There were a couple of design runs. They ran power a few times with him, which they should have done. Yeah, I know they don't want to kill him, but still, I mean, they should have done it.
They got nothing to lose.
Yeah, they should have done it 6 or 7 times in the first half. They didn't. I mean, their offensive line is banged up, defensive line's banged up, but we ran the football.
Yeah,
we ran the football, and in the first half, we could have had a couple of really bad penalties that were called on us, but we didn't. We got a little bit lucky on that, but we didn't commit those. Look, every Tennessee fan that's worth their salt knows last year we couldn't get it going in the big games that we needed to get it going, like Oklahoma, Florida game last year come to mind. Even in the first half, the Alabama game come to mind because we either fumbled it in the first half, the first quarter. We had boneheaded penalties, and that's carried in. It's carried into this year too. But last night they didn't do that.
Yeah,
there were a couple of sloppy plays in the first half that they need to be cleaned up a little, but they didn't do it on such a scale to a degree that hurt us that badly. I mean, it looked, if you were an outsider looking in, not knowing that Florida was missing half their football team, you would say we dominated last night.
Yeah.
In all 3 phases. But I know there's no kick returns, but still, I mean, it was just – the mental is first. That's the first phase. We came prepared to play. Offense killed it. Defensive killed it. I mean, it was great. I
It was
love
what you call complementary football. I think there's so many things that Tennessee did in all three phases, and Austin Price was talking about it. This was the most all three phase combined playing together game we've had all season. So I'm hoping we keep that going into Vanderbilt, and something I want to, just tag on to what you're talking about there. The defense, man. They zoned in, kept. I know Lagway is not a massive runner, but they kept them hemmed in the pocket. That first play of the game, when they had the ball, getting that sack and getting him down, it's just it's just fun to see that your defense is finally playing complementary football when you need to. Now, can you do it in the big game next week against Vanderbilt? That's something that I hope we get to see. But the so far this season, we haven't seen that. And for the offense and the defense to play together as one and really, hammer down on the Florida Gators, it's what we all as Tennessee fans wanted to see and honestly expected to see. Like you said, they're down a fourth of their team because of injuries. And so they had zero excuses for Tennessee had zero excuses to go out and lose that game. So anything else to top off your first thoughts?
Yeah, man. As far as to kind of piggyback off what you were talking about, we didn't have any excuse to go down there and lay an egg, and they didn't. There are things that are still concerning in the second half, the end of the first half.
Yeah.
That second half, I was sitting, we're literally winning 31-0 at halftime. And I'm sitting there like this.
Yeah. It was a boring half.
My family almost kicked me out of the house. We were all watching the game, and they're like, you can cheer up a little bit, it's 31-0. And I'm like, yeah, well, the worm's about to turn, I'm sorry. I got post-traumatic Dooley syndrome, I understand. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, what is it going to be? What is it going to be? Is it going to be a pick six? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? It wasn't one of those things. It was just those same things that I've been seeing, that you've been seeing, that a lot of people who really know ball and are not just trying to sell a narrative for pumping it up are saying, look, these are the things that you have to solidify. Yeah, they had a quarter of their team out. If they didn't have a quarter of their team out, let's say they had an eighth of their team out, they got half the injuries on that roster that they do have. That's a completely different ballgame if you put two key guys in, one on offense, one on defense. That's a completely different ballgame. Now, aside from that, what really made me happy was we ran the football so consistently well that didn't matter. That didn't matter because with those things, yes, absolutely. Yeah, we should have scored 1 million, but a win is a win. The way that we won was great. With or without the context of the injuries, I just think there is a lot to build on for this. As yeah. So there's a lot to build off on there. I mean, this going into this weekend, the way they won, that is the best way that you could go into the Vanderbilt game with the way that this season's gone. So yeah, with that being said, let's kick it off, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, heck yeah. So with that being said, I do want to talk about some of the things we did in the game, and then I'm going to bring up the highlights, and I'm going to also bring up the celebration highlights that we had last night. Just kind of live in the moment of the Tennessee players, because as much as they are, and as they played the game, they deserve all the happiness in the world. Us as Tennessee fans have been through everything. And we get to be able to live in that moment and see the celebration and, the end of the game, all the atmosphere. It's just a special moment for us as well. So I'm gonna pull up the highlights and just we'll talk about that. But I think it's major what Tennessee did in this game Saturday. Like you talked about, they asserted themselves in the run game. They wanted to establish the run, get that run going with Deshaun Bishop, and it started early. And then you got to see play action and the safety start coming down into the box. Once Florida showed that, split coverage with too high safety, it was very, very easy for Tennessee to decide to run the ball. And they would run counter, they ran insert, and it pretty much was a struggle for Florida to be able to stop us. So let me get these highlights going. We'll talk about them as we go. Obviously, this is the shortened highlights. It's only 3 minutes and 44 seconds, but this is the first touchdown of the game for Ethan Davis.
Hell of a play.
Heck of a play. Great concept. They just start off, run the ball. Deshaun Bishop has pretty much taken them down the field. Ethan Davis, they started the drive with him on a little RPO over the middle, and then Brazil made a play, and Mike Matthews made a play. But Deshaun Bishop was running the ball. They got this little counter scheme getting set up where the right guard is pulling and gonna kick the defensive end over there, this guy right here. And then the tight end on a counter play would normally wrap up and follow behind Perry into this hole and wrap up and get the linebacker. But they done ran it a few times. So now you're going to see Ethan Davis. This is called a counter slip. It's a new thing offensive coordinators are calling now to make everything look like counters coming. But instead of him wrapping, he's just going to slip out into the flat. And so,
being checked out. You fake it to him, flip it in.
You see Ethan Davis getting the ball out in the flat and just making a play. I love the call there. You can see where the guard just pulls up in there, kicks the end, and then Ethan slips out. Yeah, and it's counter slip where you get your tight end, your uber athletic tight end in space, and gets a touchdown. So great way to start the game. Tom, you want to add anything to that play?
Yeah, Jesse Perry had a good pull on that. I feel like he's a good puller. Yeah. And I say that I want to be specific, Jesse, if you're watching this stream. I just want you to know, or if 30 years from now you watch this stream, I want to give credit where credit's due, because I'm going to come after you, big guy, in a few minutes here. I got something that I want you to clean up a little bit. But that was a good pull. He got his hands inside. He pulled quickly. He pulled cleanly. The pull, I thought when I saw that play coming, I thought, like you said, it was going to be another counter. And I said, well, Ethan Davis isn't chipping his guy here. Oh, well, that's why. And then, of course, he makes that first guy miss. Ethan Davis is a football player. That kid had a game last night. I mean, he had like 63 reception yards. I mean, he just absolutely killed, or 60-some yards receiving. Look, we ran it.
Super athletic from the tight end position.
Yeah, we ran it 50 times last night. That was my kind of ball. That's what I want. I want 50 to 60 carries a game. I want us to kill it. We had 200 and I don't even know.
It was a good bit.
I know
it was 200 plus.
240, 245, 250, something like. I mean, that was like 4-point-some yards per carry. That was awesome. But those key moments, they ran that slip that you were just talking about twice, and they ran it to perfection because they chose the moments perfectly. And it was almost at the same moment in the same position on the field that
Yeah,
they ran it. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I know a clever defensive coordinator is going to say, well, they ran this against us in the first quarter and they're in exactly the same position, or maybe it's a different down, but it's the same distance to the goal. You know, that's fine, whatever. If you stop it, kudos to you. You know, you grew a pair and you stopped it. But that we need to see that 30 times next year.
Yeah.
It's 30 times next year.
It's definitely a play that, you know, like I said earlier, you mirror play.
Mm-hmm.
So to the defense, it looks the same. You're sitting there, the linebackers reading counter, so they dive down. Safeties are diving inside because they read and counter, and then the tight end slips, or the H-back slips into the flat because they're thinking he fits a wrap up, and it just creates a one-on-one situation for Ethan Davis. So let's continue this little highlight. This is the first play on defense. Tennessee gets the sack. Massive way to start the defensive drive here to establish, getting Lagway on a sack and putting them behind the 8 ball to start. Great play by Moy, getting off a block.
Could have had him right there.
Yeah, good effort.
But good follow-up.
Hey, great. What I will say about this, for one, the coverage had to been good because there was a little bitty second there. It's pretty much supposed to be a shot play. I want to go ahead and tell you their goal was to hit the running back in the wheel. Not the running back, the tight end on a crosser from this side right here is supposed to be a little crosser, or it may have been the wide receiver on the top end, but it was supposed to be a crosser, and was supposed to be his first read. Tennessee gathered up, got after the ball, and that's what you want to see on defense. So something you want to add to that, Tom?
If who is it? It's not Moy. Is it David Hobbs coming in a little bit out of control?
It's Moy.
So he missed the first tackle there.
Yeah.
We should have had him there. You got to break down more. I mean, this is not genius stuff here. I'm a purist. I'm a basic fundamentals person. Okay. Yeah. I like early Beatles. I like early Van Halen. I like AC/DC with Bon Scott. I like Brian Johnson, but still the simple stuff. Okay. The stuff that works, you have to do it. You have to go in on a quarterback like that. Now, we played him very well, schemed him very well last night. I got to say, Tim Banks, dude, great call last night. Great call.
Tim Banks was in his bag last night. I will give him that.
He was on it. Now, again, throw a dart at the board, injuries, whatever. Okay. Yeah. It's in Gainesville. It's Florida, Tennessee. I don't care about the injuries anymore at this point. We're going to stipulate for the rest of the night. Yes, we know they had a lot of injuries. Yeah. But Tim Banks called against Lagway pretty much on point last night. Yeah. And it was beautiful to watch. I was sitting there thinking to myself, is this even right? Is Tim there? Did he make the trip with the team last night? But you've got to break down. You have to, if you're not going to have a coordinated effort on certain plays because you're going to take a chance. Look, we all know defensively, sometimes you got to take a shot. Sometimes you got to take a chance, and that's going to leave somebody open. But in a situation like this, where you miss that first tackle by the shoestrings, it's because you were going in out of control. It's because maybe you shot, well, it didn't look like he shot a gap on this one, but still, I mean, you got to make that tackle. Eventually, the rest of his teammates do what you're supposed to do on a team, and you come support your team. You know, you actually make up for the first guy missing the tackle. When that play happened, I'm sitting there watching, thinking to myself, that's it. That right there is going to turn into a 30-yard scramble by Lagway, and it didn't. It didn't. That was it. You know, that was a great defensive play. It's a great way to start off the series. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will just say, watch Moy after he misses the first tackle, though. Watch him. It's 51 right here. What he misses, What's he do? Get right back up, gets
up.
back after it, and he finishes the play with Edwin Spillman. So great play to start play. Hustle. Love the effort. This will be the second play. DJ Lagway meet Arian Carter.
Love it.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's form right there, Tom. That is form, boy.
That's what I'm talking about. All right.
I can watch this play over and over and over again. Get low man wins. Watch where his leverage is. Oh,
yeah. If that first offensive series we didn't seal it, like you're not going to seal a game on a first offensive series. You go out and score, the other team's going to want to punch right back.
Yeah.
But that was one of those tone setting when we used to actually have kickoff and kick return, and it used to actually matter because they hadn't sissified football quite yet. Pick your guy, set the tone on the first kickoff. That was one of those kinds of plays, man. I love number 7.
I was so hyped. I'm so glad he came back. We've been missing Arian Carter in the middle of the defense. Edwin Spillman's been great. He actually leads the team on tackles right now. Hey, Tom, next year we got some dogs at linebacker. Yeah. Arian Carter and Spillman and those younger Perlotti and T-Lander will probably be back, and he had a good game last night.
He did.
Tip of the cap to him, but you know, we're gonna be we got fixed some secondary issues this offseason, and I trust Rodney Gardner.
You think he's coming back though? You think Arian Carter's gonna come back?
Yeah,
I hope he does.
He's coming
I hope.
Back.
Yeah,
I think he'll be back.
I hope.
Yeah, I don't see him getting high enough draft stock to not come back. So, and he loves Tennessee. That dude, if you watch him in the defensive huddles, that dude eats, sleeps, and breathes Tennessee football. So I'm all for it. He's the team captain, one of the team captains for a reason. So let's get back to this. This next first play offense. This is the first play on the offensive drive. The second drive. Great boot action right here where Brazil down here on the bottom is going to sell, make it seem like he's going to run a deep goal route and then come back, run a 15-yard comeback, and just a great spot ball from Joey Aguilar. Great sell action to the boot. Ethan Davis sets the edge, and then just a great play overall. Love seeing that. That's a great. You talking about first plays to get the drive going. That's how you get that momentum and the drive going and really get stuff going. I love this play right here, and I'll let you talk about it after these last two plays after this. This next play that they're getting ready to run is called dash. It's where they set like they're going to be in the pocket. Joey sets his feet and then sprints, dashes out to the left. You're gonna see guys. I can't remember what this dude does, but you're gonna see a deep corner, and then you're gonna see Chris Brazil crossing the field, and then you're gonna see Deshaun Bishop getting to the flat. So this is just be dash sprint left, where you're gonna see Joey Aguilar hit Chris Brazil on a drag or crosser about 5-7 yards deep.
Yeah, there's no stopping that.
There's no stopping. It's a great way to see what it does. It keeps the linebacker's feet still for a second. When you watch Joey Aguilar set and then dash. And so what it does, it keeps the linebacker's feet kind of still, keeps them in a spot for a second. And then you sprint out to the next side. All right. Before we get to this thick little single wing trick play, real quick,
that's Slick Willie.
Yeah, I love every second of it. It's single wing. It's what I'll run at Hall, or what we run a little bit at Halls, and it's a variation of it. Obviously, it's a little more spread out than what we run, but talk about those last two plays, something you liked. Obviously, pass protection was good. The eye candy was good. Anything you want to add to it?
I don't want to add anything to it other than I want us to run simple things like that. These are not easy things that they're doing. There's people out there who may be watching, who may be Tennessee fans that maybe they never played, whatever it is. You don't have to have played football. This makes sense here. These are not simple things they're doing or easy things they're doing. They're simple. They're not easy, but they are very simple, basic things that they're doing. Like when you mentioned that Joey was going to set his feet on that dash out.
Yeah.
You're right. That's one of the biggest keys to making that work, because what did that linebacker have to do? He has to come down.
Yeah.
As soon as Joey Aguilar takes off, it looks like he's breaking the pocket.
Yeah.
But to a linebacker, he's not able to see through the daggone signs of his helmet. You know, he's only seeing, hey, I see what's in front of me. I got to go chase it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
I love dash plays. They're a great open field concept to get your quarterback out of the pocket and get those linebackers kind of little false step there.
So this slick, nasty play that we're about to watch here, this was one of the 4 videos. Actually, I had cut 4 videos. I cut this one, and it is frustrating as all kinds of get out that this is the view that you get of the initial
I
setup.
know. Yeah.
I love the single look. I love it. That's amazing. I would run it 70% of the game if I was coaching, but I love the old school feel that this has got. I'd have run this again and again and again. Not the same exact thing with the same end result, but as far as the look and somebody different getting the ball, that's what's beautiful about the single wing, is that somebody different's going to be getting the ball, but it's the same daggone look every time.
Every time.
Yep. And as a linebacker, you're sitting there like, well, who's got the daggone ball? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. But this is amazing. What I love the most about this, other than the look, is watch Mike Matthews after the play.
Oh, I love every second of it.
Love this. When I saw this, I said, we're going to win.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Deebo Samuel when he was in his prime for the 49ers. You know, just someone that you can get the ball to quickly and just let him go in the open field. And he's like a natural runner, but he's a wide receiver.
Get him the ball 20 times a game is I love Braylon, love Chris.
I don't know about 20 because you want to keep it spread out, but I feel what you're saying, though.
I put him at wingback, put him at running back, put him at any daggone position, put him at slot, get him on kick return, get him on punt return. I'm sorry, but Boo Carter should not have been kick return. It should have been Matthews or Staley. I mean, I know we're thin at receiver, well, relatively thin, but I love Mike Matthews, man. I'll go back to this. I love running the ball. I'd run it 60 times a game if I could. But when we picked up Mike Matthews 2 years ago in that recruiting cycle, that just was the bee's knees to me, man. I know he was a big, flashy number. He was like the second best receiver in the class. But this is something that it just adds a facet, you know. Yeah. There's receivers who can receive and they can run routes, and they're physical receivers for blocking on screens or whatever it is. But Mike Matthews is slippery, slip, slide, and slide, super glide. I mean, the dude can get anywhere he wants, and he can catch it. And he sees the field here too, which is a great thing. The read on the field and the blocking, the way that it unfolds, it's great. It's great.
So let me talk about the play. Let me break it down. What we're fixing to see, this is old-fashioned single wing. Mike Matthews is pretty much the wing back here. Ethan Davis is the sniffer in the old single wing, and the guard here, which would be Umarov, is pulling and kicking. So this is the old-fashioned crisscross counter out of single wing, but it's a little spread out. You're going to see Deshaun Bishop hand it off to Joey. Joey is then going to double hand off underneath to Mike Matthews. And this is old-fashioned single wing crisscross counter. And I love it. This just makes my heart melt.
And the blocking is just.
And the blocking, it's pretty much super counter because you got Deshaun Bishop leading up on it too.
And let it go just another second when he gets out of bounds. He's pushing the pile.
Look, hold on. Watch this contact.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. He
I
wants it.
love that.
Yeah. Love it.
I absolutely love that.
That Florida
how-
DB is going to be a little bit better next year because of that.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
this is something I wanted to talk about. The pistol. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love it, especially in the red zone because no one knows what you're doing,
Yep.
what way you're going. The pistol gives you that advantage to get downhill, and that still gives a Joey Aguilar a two-way go, whether it be handoff or three-way go, handoff, keep and run, or to the RPO up top to Braylon Staley. Watch it, and this all this is double insert. All it is. That's all it is. And then Deshaun Bishop just fly. Did they make fly like an eagle for him or Michael Jordan?
This was great.
Because
That
I mean
was-
that boy just got
Yeah.
up.
And you know what?
love-
We're watching that.
love
My folks were all in the living room watching this last night. And I heard 2 or 3, woo, surprise. Like they didn't think he was going to do something like that. Like if it's me, I'm just running in behind my guys. I'm literally just putting my face in their back and piling through and driving the pile. I love that Deshaun Bishop goes up and over on this.
Oh yeah.
Now look,
all this is
what we
just-
should have run 2 other times this year. I can think of that we should have run this damn play.
Oh yeah. Say it again.
There's 2 other moments at this point in the year that we should have run this play, but it's over. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, but
Yeah.
I'm glad, and I've been saying this for years about Heupel. I hope that he learns from his mistakes. It looks like he came to run the football last night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I mean, that maybe 3 weeks ago, we're looking at a stupid play action. And 4 weeks ago, we're looking at another stupid play action. And this is what you do. This is what you do. You go to another team's field and you own them by running the football, and you run it right up the middle. That's literally what you do.
And that's what I'm talking about. I love this look because like I said, it gives Joey a three-way go. Just gets Deshaun Bishop downhill, and all this is it's man for man up front, and then you got Ethan Davis and JVD inserting into the middle, just trying to find first man up and then going to make a play.
And the way that Florida lined up, it wound up on the block, and it is man up. But I used to, when I was coaching, we would run a wedge play and
wedge inside gap.
And I'll tell you, man, that you get a bunch of young bucks that want to get half a yard. You tell them get a wedge play on too. That's just I love that. Now I think if I'm right, this is one of the plays that I clipped here. I know this exact look here because that receiver was lined up just outside the E in Geico. This is a little bit of kind of a, it is. Yeah, because he drops down. That's perfect. That's perfect. For alignment, you can't really tell, but Tyree West is lined up just slightly outside of his tackle.
He's a 7 technique.
He keeps outside leverage on that perfectly. And I'll tell you what, that if he had not been out for a while, he was the one that was out, right? No, he was in. It was well, if we had healthy defensive line and we'd been able to do things like this and line up, and we're looking at a different defensive line. But that's what you do. I think 2-3 weeks ago, I had gotten on somebody for not running an outside tech on defensive end. Look, I was never a defensive genius. I played linebacker a little bit, but it was not my thing. I never played defensive end, but maybe for a season in JV. That's not my thing. I wasn't a defensive end. But we were always taught you've got outside cover. You've got to maintain your contain. That, hey, what's going on, buddy? It is great to be a Tennessee Vol. Absolutely. I agree with that. But he maintains outside technique and blows up the tackle and makes the play. That's a dude. That's what I want to see. That's absolutely what I want to see.
And just to build off of you guy here, he says Heupel was scheming and cooking last night. It was obvious he wasn't trying to give up our plays ahead of Vandy game. I fully on board with that. I do agree with that. I think once Heupel, plus to get out the game healthy, I fully agree with you there. Deshaun Bishop is a dog. Like I said, he is a local boy at Carnes, gets it done. I loved what he brings to this team as far as the work, the effort, just the attitude. Just someone that, is going to give us all for Tennessee. You ain't got to worry about no transfer portal or NIL problems with him. And then Vol don't lie. He says, Hype is our guy. Look at the stats in this time here. Beat Bama twice under Saban. Drained the swamp, made the playoffs, bowl game, and every season, Coach Hype is our guy. I am 100%, 110% on board with that statement. I do want him to make a couple changes to get, even to that next hurdle, maybe Willie Martinez, special teams guy, whatever. But DC, which I don't think Banks will be back next year anyways. I think he'll take a job somewhere. But I think Coach Heupel does need to make, but I'm right there with you. I think Coach Heupel is without a doubt our guy and will get us to the promised land if he makes the right changes. Let's get back to the highlights. I just want to speak on this play just one more time real quick. I know you kind of hammered it. Tyree West in that 7 technique up there at top, playing strong side defensive end. What a play. Just first step, whooping the right tackle's butt off the ball and just making a play. I mean, that's point blank. Just making a play, whooping the right tackle off the ball, and just being the better man. So, love that. And then this next play, you're going to see back in that same you're going to get the same look. It's man on man up front, really protecting that inside gap. And then you got 2 tight ends, JVD and Ethan Davis, double inserting, and then you get a 3-way go out here for Aguilar. It's Bishop downhill or read the defensive end and keep it, or you got an RPO out here with Mike Matthews, which he didn't run nothing there, so they may not give an RPO call. But in the first time you saw where Braylon Staley had an RPO call because he ran a slant. But great play. I love that double insert because instead of being under center, if you're not going to QB sneak it, that's where I want, because it gives Joey Aguilar three different options. And somewhere hopefully the opposing team will be wrong. Anything you want to add to that?
Not to that play in particular. That of course, hey, I'm all for scoring plays. That's great. That was after they had just switched. Yeah, they switched sides of the field. Look, we did in the first 3 scoring drives what I've been wanting to see from us for a while. We run a hurry up offense. I wouldn't do it. I'd run it. I'd get our guys up to the daggone line with 6 seconds left. Hey, yeah, I see you, Corey. Yeah, that's my other buddy. He's another Florida fan, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll forgive you, Corey. Look, I've been wanting us to run these long, sustained drives, time aside. Okay, time of possession aside. We had 3 drives, I think, in a row. Literally, our first 3 drives were scoring drives. Yeah, we didn't have any drives that were not out of those 3. We got tutties on all 3 of them.
Yeah.
They were not short field drives. We had a couple of boneheaded plays where somebody missed an assignment, which I've got this one loaded up, that I love Perry. He's played his tail off for Tennessee, But he did get beat on that 4th and 1, and that 4th and 1 that led to this scoring play, I thought we were done in the backfield. That 4th and 1, I literally thought we were done because he got beat.
Bishop.
He absolutely got beat.
Perry, yeah.
And if you see how they're lined up, this is that same. Well, it's not actually the same. It looks like his assignment from the play, from what I could tell, he's supposed to gap down on a wedge, right? Or maybe it's just a standard gap.
It's
one.
Everybody blocked down. Then you have Carson Gentle and Jackson Moy kick out, and then Deshaun Bishop lead up. So everybody was supposed to block down, and then it's pretty much power. Solid power.
Anybody that's watching, if you can zoom in, that defensive nose tackle is head up on our center, head up 100%. But their defensive tackle over top of Perry, 72, if they don't know who I'm talking about, he is slightly inside of Jesse Perry. Slightly.
Yeah, he's in a one.
If he was head up on him, yes, you're supposed to communicate. This is what I was talking about on Tuesday, pointing out your damn assignment. I don't care. And it's a thing that they're taught at this level. Apparently, they don't point out their assignments. It pisses me off to no end. I don't understand it. But he is slightly inside, so he should have been his assignment.
Yeah.
And even just to chip him and to have, we used to call it a George. But yeah, and he completely goes down inside and ignores his assignment here. So you can see him. He just got beat. Just got beat straight up off the ball. And we still made the play, which is amazingly good for us because, of course, we wind up going up 21-0. But in a spot where you're not playing a defeated Florida team, as my buddy Corey was just so kind enough to point out a minute ago, that's not going to fly against Georgia. That's not going to fly against Alabama. And it didn't fly against Oklahoma when we got beat on our inside assignments on a couple of plays. So that's just small potatoes griping after the fact. I'm happy we won the game, but that is something that got to communicate who your assignment is. But if anybody else out there has played O-line, his head is looking at the ground.
Yeah.
He's looking at the ground. He's not looking at the man across from him. I'm so sick and tired of our offensive line players not looking at the man across from him when they're in a three-point stance.
Yeah.
If they're standing up like in this right here, you got this loaded up, they're in pass pro. They're obviously in pass pro. They're going to have their heads up because their backs should be just a little bit straighter. But I'm telling you, these simple things, these fundamental things are what are killing us. And 2 weeks ago, we played a New Mexico State team we shouldn't have played, and we played 50% sloppy, and we still killed them. This is that exact same kind of crap that we were harping on last week where we shouldn't have even played them, but we beat their tails because they're New Mexico State, Helen Keller Technical A&M State College, like we don't have any business. But those are the things that and that play that I just loaded up, that reinforces bad behavior. It gives you a positive result for bad behavior, and it's not good. And Glenn Ellerby, he's been able to recruit some hogs. That's great, but he's got to get fundamentals on these kids. Like our spacing. We got to get our spacing right on certain plays. I'm not going to harp on it forever, but there were a couple of moments last night where I'm watching and I'm like, you know what? I honestly don't know what the hell the offensive line was thinking with their alignment because they're supposed to be lined up wider on specific plays that we ran. And then when we ran counter in a couple of moments, that was great. I love to see counter, but they're too tight. They're too tight. And they've got to get their spacing correct. Look, it's got to be ingrained in you. When you're a wide receiver and you're covering somebody up, you can't do that. That's got to be ingrained in you to check. And I know with the whole hand thing and the referees screwing us on who put their hand out and it's supposed to level you and they're supposed to give you the okay. But these fundamental things, you don't rely on other people. You rely on yourself and you rely on your brothers because they're relying on themselves too. Like, that's what you're supposed to look. You get up to the line, mark it off. Look down at your feet, mark it off. Get your alignment right. Get your assignments, communicate the assignments. Because like I said a minute ago, if that's Florida, if it's not a depleted Florida team, they got their starting guys out there, Georgia, Alabama, that's not going to fly. Ohio State, we got crushed last year like a beer can because we were getting looks from their interior defensive line running either a stunt or their front seven were running looks, giving us different eye candy, confusing the offensive line. And that was with a 6th-year guy playing center in Cooper Mays. I mean, if that kind of thing happens to a 6th year, then fundamentals are the one thing you coach, you play, you're not going to do what you need to do at an elite level enough to win a national championship if you're not doing the fundamentals right. And that's my gripe. That's my one gripe about last night. But it's a big gripe, that's my thing. Like I'm sitting there, like I said, my family's like, you can be happy about this, Tom. Y'all just got the 4th down. That was a huge play. That was 4th down. You're about to go up 21-0. I said, yeah, but it's the way they did it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's one thing.
I agree with you. To not keep going, but another part of the thing is Bennett Warren was in on that play because David Sanders had just gone out a couple plays before that, and he may not have been able to get. He was pretty slow getting off the ball. So if he gets that reach block like David Sanders might have, maybe that situation might not have happened. I get what you're saying, and J.C. Perry. Yeah, I can't tell if his cue. Of course, obviously they know and we don't, but he may have been supposed to be just reach blocking his inside guy, or was he supposed to block down? I don't know. We probably will never know, but either way, Bennett Warren didn't do a good enough job there either, getting his reach block. So got to be quicker off the ball. But enough of the negative for right now.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I didn't want to give him such a hard time as to make him hang his head or anything. But still, that's one of those things where we got lucky. Look, Vol Don't Lie just said a minute ago, he died laughing about that holding call when Jaden Ball had that heck of a play. That was lucky. That's literally a bad play by their offensive tackle that got that call back. That's luck. And what you just mentioned, you tagged on to the end of what I was saying perfectly, because that fact that Bennett Warren has been here for 2 full seasons now, and he's not able to get off the ball quickly enough and to get literally a foot and a half inside. Okay. Yeah. As an offensive lineman, if your job is in certain circumstances to take more than just 1 6-inch starting step, and you're literally putting yourself at risk of getting blown outside or off balance because you're going for broke, is literally what they're going to call it in this position. That's your one thing, is you're supposed to get inside, like on an old school field goal blocking. You go for broke. You're just leaning down inside, and that's literally your job. Don't get beat inside. He should not be in a spot like that where, yes, that was supposed to be Perry's guy. He's at least going to get a chip on him. Yeah. At least a chip on him. But golly, man, that's my one thing from last night, was just that one play that really set poorly with me. It sat sour, that was, man, we got lucky on that. Now, of course, the football gods were listening, they were like, hey, Tennessee, you're due. It's been 23 years.
We got a strong running back in Deshaun Bishop to get
for sure. And there were many, many plays. There were a dozen plays that I could count from last year where Dylan Sampson made things happen in the hole. He read his blocks perfectly, but there were some plays where I thought he was 2 or 3 yards dead in the backfield. Yeah. And he squirts out for 8 or 20 yards, whatever it is. That's a great tailback for you. And that brings us full cycle to the optimism that I'm not known for. Peyton Lewis and Deshaun Bishop for us next year. I hope Peyton Lewis comes back. I hope he sticks with it. I really hope he puts the work in. But Deshaun Bishop's a player, man.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah,
and I like Dwayne A. Morris, who we saw a lot of last night too. So let's get to the next play in the highlights. This is Star Thomas's big run. I just kind of looked at my buddy that night. I said, "This is our night, man. This is our night." I'm not even worried about this game anymore. Once Star Thomas broke this run on 3rd and 17, I looked at my buddy. I said, "Yep, this is our night." So just a great effort play by Star Thomas on not giving up on play, staying up on his feet, and just busting it out the backside. Got to do a little better job of keeping that ball wrapped. He got kind of lucky. He regained possession. And then obviously back to the split pistol split dive insert play where Star Thomas pretty much, just owning the line of scrimmage right here. All we need is 1 yard. That's all we got. That's all that matters. So great touchdown play right here. This was just great pursuit by Arian Carter. Love that. I'm telling you, we missed him, man. Just a great player.
That play right there, that was something. When I saw that, I was very happy. That play, who was that? Was that Colton Hood? No.
It's Arian Carter made the tackle.
Okay. Well, he's way further outside than I would have ever expected him to be. But when I saw that,
he's at the wheel there.
There was a play. I know you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this because you're a freak of nature and you watch it 8 times. But there was a play where they tried to run I think they had trips left. They weren't bunched and they weren't stacked or anything, but they ran maybe trips or maybe doubles to the left. And we had perfect bracketing.
Yeah.
Maybe it was an RPO, but we had 3. It was a linebacker, our outside corner, and a safety all come down and bracket perfectly. And I think maybe they got 2 yards. That was one of our better defensive plays of the night last night. And I couldn't find it in the highlights because I don't think they had it. And, of course, if I tried to look for it in the entire game, it would have taken me like 4 hours to find it. But the defense stepped up last night. There's no other way for me to say it. And I owe the defense a big, hey, you get your, that was the game that they absolutely needed to step up because I was worried about Lagway. I was worried about what's his face that Ball don't lie earlier. Yeah, Ball. And we were talking about him. He's a playmaker.
Yeah, he's an elite running back. Like they're going to be solid next year if they get the right coach. They got and they don't get ravaged by the transfer portal. But just go, and they may. But given Florida and their ability to probably be able to recruit whoever they get the new guy in from the transfer portal, they will probably be able to bounce back pretty quick. So let's continue. Let's finish these highlights, and then we'll wrap up the show. This is just kind of this is another form of counter. I love this version of counter right here. You have it's the guard pulling, then you have Ethan Davis. I love this little shift motion that they did to get into counter, where you have Jesse Perry kicking the end, you have Ethan Davis, and what they do, it's a seal block because what he does, he goes in, then they seal it to get Deshaun Bishop and bounce it outside. So I love this. You see where he goes in, and it's just a great play. Great play by Deshaun Bishop. Great read to go around the seal because that edge guy, squeezed the play. So just a great play by Deshaun Bishop right there. Great read block by Jesse Perry, but instead of kicking him, actually sealing him because he had done himself inside.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to come back. This was the other play, the positive other play that I had saved. He did seal him down inside instead of just kicking him out. And that's not an easy thing to do against a Division I defenseman playing at Florida. That's not. Now, of course, his positioning made it a little bit easier, but still, it's not an easy thing to do. I think Jesse Perry did a good job on his pulls last night.
Yeah. And I think both sides of the offensive line, with Wendell Moy being out, I thought Shaman had a plus game as well.
He did.
And
I didn't get to follow up on any of the injuries from last night. What is the stat on Wendell Moy?
They think he'll be back for this Saturday, but it's pretty much need only basis.
Mm-hmm.
He could have gave it a go last night, but they felt like if they didn't have to push it, no, there was no reason to rush him back. Here's another form of counter. As we know, Coach Heupel on this Tennessee team is a gap scheme guy, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guard tackle counter. You know, the other counter plays was guard Y. This is guard tackle, and you got Joey got with a 3-way option. He can give it, keep it around the end, or throw the access route out here on the outside. And just a great play by Deshaun Bishop, making a guy miss and get to the outside. Dude's so hard to bring down by just one guy. So hard to bring down. Let's see. Oh, that's it. So just a great job by Tennessee here. I'm super pumped about winning this game, obviously. Let me get off of this.
You know what? Vol Don't Lie just brought up something. I
need to go up because I've missed some of his stuff.
Yeah,
he just imagine Joey comes back next year and wins his lawsuit. I saw that. Did you see that the other day where he had entered the lawsuit?
I love Joey Aguilar, man. Look, when they opened up the free agency and they started paying these kids and they became professional collegiate age players, I despise every moment of that. Every fiber of professionalization and the free agency is unethical. It should not exist. But aside from that, Joey Aguilar, dude, is like just I bow down before Joey Aguilar. I'm very happy with the way he's played. He made two horrible mistakes this year, in my opinion. There's a lot of other people who could say, well, he's got more picks than that. Well, yeah, that's true, but contextualization don't lie. Joey Aguilar has played his tail off for the University of Tennessee, and his backstory just makes you want to love the guy in the first place. The dude is a great competitor. I do not want 25-year-old or 24-year-old guys playing college football against 18, 19-year-old kids. I'm sorry. Used to be back in the real old days that you did not get what's called a red shirt. You had 4 years of eligibility, and that was it. And then they added the medical red shirt. That needed to happen. That's common sense. Kid comes in, has a season-ending injury within a certain amount of playing time. That's fair. Okay, that's logical. That's reasonable. Now, in the last 5 years, you've had a COVID year, which was crap. I'm sorry. That's just the luck of the draw. You've had a medical redshirt year. That's what we just covered. That's reasonable. Okay. But that gives you 6 years. And now we've got to a point in our society where we're starting to see the tertiary effects of the immorality and the unethical nature of people not being able to think and reason logically with any given situation. There is no reason at all that a 26-year-old guy, and in some cases, 7th-year seniors, should be playing college football. I'm sorry, it's not. Now, that does also have a shining light to it for Tennessee fans, because we do have George McIntyre, who is a baller apparently. He just hasn't had his opportunity to get settled in behind a decent offensive line yet.
Yeah.
And we do have Mr. Universe coming up. Faison Brandon is supposed to be something else. And I'm telling y'all, if you haven't watched some of his highlights with the football in his hand, it's something special to watch. But yes, and that's another thing, that why can't we buy the jerseys off the – yeah, that it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Now, in some circumstances, you can after the fact, but that's after the fact. That's not during the season. I have not wrapped my mind around that whole thing, but that's just my little shtick on. I do love Joey Aguilar, and if we didn't have ethical principles in this world, I'd be all for, hey, give him a 7th year, But he's had 6. That's one more than he should have had in the first place.
Yeah, I'm on the same board with you. I'm not one to advocate for Joey coming back another year. I think he would do great, but at the same time, I'm sick of all these extra years thing. Go get a job. If you're not going to the NFL, go get a job. Don't come at me if some people like, oh no, let him play. I don't care. Like, you're playing freaking 18-year-olds. Are coming up and at this point you're screwing up rosters. You're doing all this. You're messing up other opportunities for these kids that are trying to get onto these school rosters. And you're sitting here as a 26-year-old or 25-year-old just sitting there doing, taking someone's spot. So I want Faison Brandon to be the guy next year as a true freshman. If not, I do see us getting someone out of the transfer portal. I don't think GMAC's the guy. I don't care. I know some people. I know Joey thinks he's the guy. I know some other people think he's the guy, but I don't see it in the long run. I don't know.
He's got to get much bigger.
He's got to get much bigger for one, but something about my gut feeling just don't think he's going to pan out.
Hey, I was George McIntyre, or not. I was team Merkman, man. I'm telling you, there's a great website where you can design a T-shirt, and I have it ready. I had it ready for 2 years when we signed Jake Merklinger. I said, Merkman, anybody that's an Ozzy fan out there, if you like Black Sabbath, the Ozman cometh. There was going to be a whole campaign. I was going to start it for him. Little old me, I was going to get Jake Merklinger the Heisman Trophy, but still, apparently he's not, because he's leaving. That just, and Merk Slinger, that works too. But look, as Tennessee fans, he had another good point a second ago. We never get that chance, and you know what? There's been times where I've seen other schools doing stuff that is blatantly illegal, or you knew they were paying their guys. And I always had this sense that, our time's going to come. Our time's going to come. Unfortunately, I'm still trying to make my peace with this. Our time seems to have come, and in the context of we are a rabid fan base, and we do have money to throw at these guys in the era of professionalization. It is what it is. I can't unmilk the cow, Yeah. If that is our time and that is our context that's going to happen, then so be it. But, like you said, you got to give the young guys their shot. Yeah. And something, I think maybe you had said this and we agreed on it. I loved it. Maybe Joey had said it when we were texting a few months ago. The elite 3 or 4 teams are not going to have, with the sole exception of Carson Beck, which I think was the biggest boneheaded move he ever could have made. With the exception of that one instance, the elite 3 or 4 teams are not going to have the problem where their second team couldn't beat most teams because their second team has been depleted by getting paid to go elsewhere. Yeah, that is not going to happen to them. It's going to happen to Tennessee. It's going to happen to a Penn State. It's going to happen to a USC. It's going happen to a Michigan because they're not, well, maybe not Michigan. That's they bought themselves a $10 trillion quarterback over the offseason, whatever it is. But those guys that want their shot, they are not going to any longer have to sit there for 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
But the guy at Georgia, he did do that. He sat there and he's in his 3rd year now and he put the time in and he waited. But that's the thing. We have to get the young guys up. And I hope with every fiber of my being that Faison Brandon comes out and balls out next year as a true freshman. He's going to have, remind me again, we're losing Brazil, but he's going to have Staley.
He's got Staley Matthews, Brad Jackson, Tyler Smith.
Yep. Ethan Davis,
Tristan Keys, Ethan Davis,
Tristan
Keys.
Bishop. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got so many weapons. Our offensive line should all be back. There's even rumors that Lance Hurd may be coming back because he's had a good year, but
he needs it.
He's probably off to the NFL, but there's been small rumors that he may come back.
I hope.
So I mean, the keys to the offense is going to be there if Joey, this don't pass through, which I'm hoping it don't. But if it is, we're just me and you just got to get over it like we always do with our things. But we'll be happy because Joey will do good for this offense again next year. But at the same time, so to wrap up the show, I do want to show these highlights, these celebration highlights.
Yes,
I think it's just fun to see where you see Tennessee players, having some fun, celebrating, and just having a good time. So we'll talk about win the Gator Chop. I love it. You'll see Joey Aguilar coming in.
I echo that.
Absolutely love it. Soaking it in, man. Just soaking it in. And there's going to be a scene here in a second with Braylon Staley and after there's Braylon Staley right there. Here we go. Thank you. Right. You got James Harden coming over here. Soaking it in, man. We've all had tons of years where we've gone through the struggle.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yep. With the inflatable gator. The inflated gator.
I love it. Man, that's just fun to watch, man. I know we wrap up the show, but any final thoughts about this Tennessee-Florida game? Just your and like I said, guys, we will do a preview show of the Vanderbilt game later this week. That will be announced and everything on Twitter and Facebook. But just want to get on here and just talk about this Tennessee-Florida win, obviously, and how hype we are about it and what some of the things we saw, and just love being a Tennessee Vol fan. And no matter what struggles they go through, or what positives they go through, what me and you both going to be cheering for the Power T. So any final thoughts about this game?
Last night was not Alabama after 15 years, but it was something special, I think, to every Tennessee Vol who really does care about Tennessee football. I mean, look, there's Tennessee Vols who are just students who couldn't give a rat's poop about athletics, which is kind of strange to me, but they're still Vols. There's people who were raised Tennessee Vols who never went to the stadium, who have watched every game for 50 years. There are Tennessee Vols who played at the University of Tennessee. There are people who were created Tennessee fans that didn't even know that a university existed, whatever it is. But to people who really care about Tennessee football, that was something last night to end a 22-year drought in a place that has not been a good place for Tennessee. It's never been a good place for Tennessee. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium is the antithesis of everything that Tennessee is. Okay, we got the right color orange. We got fans who are not high on light bulbs, you know, all that kind of stuff. Look, it was something special. I know you what were your thoughts about finally, after that long, being able to come out of that place with a W, even with the context being what it was?
Well, I mean, it's just you know, the memories of all the things that we've gone through from 2003 to now. And, you know, it just, like I said earlier in the show, what Coach Heupel's done and what this team has done, just knocking off things one at a time, knocking these walls down and getting through them, and just, you know, being proud to be a Tennessee Volunteer fan, because we know how hard they work. We know what these guys have been through, and to be rewarded by going to the Swamp and winning this game, no matter what their situation is, it's still an SEC road game with SEC talent on the other side. And you know, to come out with the way we won that game, dominating from the start to the end, it's just great to be a Tennessee Vol. So, guys, with that being said, we're going to close down the show. Y'all go give us a thumbs up. Go, you know, share the channel out. Go follow Rocky Top Talks on Twitter, Rocky Top Talks 1 on Twitter. We post on there anytime we're going live. And then on Facebook, we at Rocky Top Sports Talk, the channel is on there as well. I post everything on there as well. So, great show, Tom. Hopefully next time we get some guys on here. I know I didn't send out the link. Me and you got talking and talking about this highlight video and everything.
Wait, I got to talking? What?
We'll about me and you both do it. So there ain't no shame in the game. So like I said, y'all have a blessed day. Always go Big Orange.
Absolutely. Go Vols.
I'm on God time. What you want, huh? I'm on God time. What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? God time, we don't never